Well there guys, it's Matt from House of Geeks, and it's been a while. Yeah, it's probably been, what, maybe a month or two before Christmas since the last video. I suppose people are wondering what the hell I've been doing. Basically I've been really busy. Personal life's been really hectic. I've moved job. Obviously coming up to Christmas with the kids, it's been manic. I understand I've had a lot of emails and stuff from subscribers, from people from YouTube. Thanks very much for all the positive comments. People asking if I'd died, people asking if I'd stopped doing it. Obviously I've not died, thank God. Yes, I'm still doing the channel. Like I've explained to people in the past, really, I do the channel because I enjoy it. You know, I don't do it to make money. I don't do it for you know, I do it just because I enjoy it. You know, I've got 24 years of experience of the hobby, and you know, I just like to pass on my experiences, things that I've learned over the years. If I can help anyone, you know, I'll do my best to. So yeah, you know, I don't do it for the popularity. I don't do it for the subs. You know, I don't do it for the money or anything like that. I literally do it just because I enjoy doing it, should I say. So thank you very much for the positive comments that people have been emailing me and things like that, asking if I'm okay and if the family's all right, things like that. So it was very nice. It made me feel really guilty that I had like a little break from the hobby. Like I say, with Christmas coming up with kids and new school terms and things like that, new job, it's literally, personal life's been really hectic. So I've not been able to get in the garage of Geek for, you know, quite a while now. I think literally the last game I played was the last game I put up, so I've literally not had a chance to do anything. I've done a little bit this month. I've had the odd hour here and there, so I'm getting ready to get back in the swing of, you know, doing Geek things. So the things I've been working on is converting my 7th edition Eldar army, which I put a video up about a while ago now, about all the 7th edition Eldar stuff that I'd finished. I can't remember what I call them now, the web wraiths. For 7th edition they were finished, so I was really looking forward to playing with them. I got a couple of games against Luke, which is obviously Striking Scorpion 82 for people that don't know, Luke Barker, which was really cool. I really enjoyed the games, really liked the army. And then 8th edition came out and the whole thing just changed, the whole meta changed. Units that were good were ineffective now, units that were crap last edition basically were quite effective this edition. So I had to go around and change a great deal of my armies. The Dark Eldar army's not changed that much because their codex isn't out yet. From what I've seen, that rumour wise, the codex is on its way. The Thousand Suns, at the minute, the Thousand Suns codex is on pre-order. So from the LVO, I believe the Dark Eldar codex, Necron codex, Tau codex is imminent. I don't know which one's going to drop first. They've not announced which one's going to drop first, but they're the next 3 codexes, so I'm really looking forward to them. So the Dark Eldar haven't changed. As you can see, I have got 10 Carbonite Warriors here. That's just to bulk up the army a little bit. I have only got 20 Carbonite Warriors, enough to I've got enough to split them down to 5 units of 5, I think, or 4 units. Yeah, 5 units of 5. With the little added extras and things like that, but I have got planned here another unit of 10 just in case. Obviously for a battalion detachment, you know, you can have 3 units of 10, so this is going to be my 3rd unit of 10. I am working on a unit of witches as well, but at the minute witches are a bit, you know, a bit lackluster sort of at the minute. But depending on when the codex comes out, they might be really pokey. So I have got 20 witches painted up obviously already at the minute. I'm working on another 10. So hopefully to get them done before the codex drops. I should get these done pretty soon really. As you can see, these are all base coated and inked. I'm not going to bother zooming in because you've seen the Dark Eldar before. So these are all inked, base coated. I've just got to do all the final highlights basically. So it's the edging of the armour, the green and the silver basically on the copper. I've also been working on new armies. So obviously we've got the 7th edition Eldar, which I'm converting into 8th edition Eldar. So you know the jet bikes that used to be really good in the previous edition? They're now not that great, so as you can see, this guy has only got one arm. Bless him. I've not dropped him on purpose. I have actually cut the arm off purposefully. So the 6 jet bikes I've done? Yeah, 6 jet bikes I've done. They've all had one arm removed, and they will all be replaced with a Dark Eldar hunting spear, which is from the radar. Radar? What the hell is it? No, we've not got any radars here, which is from the Raider kit. So these will actually be shining spears. Now obviously all I have to do is paint the arm and the spear and then attach it, and then obviously work out any bits where the glue's gone a bit funny. But yeah, so these are going to be quite easy and quick to do. I will do these pretty soon really, but I want to get these 10 Dark Eldar finished first. So that's one change I will be doing. Another change that I've got planned is one of the wave serpents will be made into a fire prism. So I've got the top of the fire prism here, the other bits here for the crystal up there just to the side. I can't bother showing them, there's no point showing them. So yeah, so I've got the top of the fire prism. I've got a fire prism box. I'm not going to bother painting the whole chassis of it because I've got 4 wave serpents, so I'll just use one of the bottom chassis for the wave serpent that I've got painted, put this guy on top, fire prism basically. That's where it's going to fit in. Obviously turn a bit more so the light can see it better. So yeah, so I'm going to have a fire prism in the Force. It's always nice showing you little projects that I am working on, and it's also ways to cut corners. Time and money wise, if you're able to get hold of the top chassis of a fire prism, you know, by all means get it. If you've got wave serpents painted already and you know you're not going to need, I mean I've got 4 wave serpents painted, I'm not going to be able to use 4 because of how pricey they are now. So I can drop, I think I've worked out I can drop 1 maybe 2, so I'll definitely drop in 1 so I can have a fire prism, so I don't need to paint the whole chassis. I will do eventually. You know, I've got the model here. I'm not going to sell it, so will paint that eventually. I'm also going to have an addition to the Force of a Farseer on foot, just because it's 100 points, nice, cheeky, cheap and cheerful Farseer. They were effective in the last edition. They're effective in this edition as well. I have got one on bike. I'm not going to keep them on bike. I'm going to have this one on foot, I think. So that's a little addition there. Oh, destroying everything off camera here. And then we've got, obviously, that everybody's using these days in an Eldar army, Dark Reapers. These are incredible for 8th edition. I imagine it's not going to be too long till Games Workshop change it. They are so overpowered. The fact that they can move and shoot without any minuses, they can, you know, shoot. They're effective at shooting at vehicles. They're effective at shooting at troops. You can have units of 3. They're just very effective in 8th edition. So I have got myself 10 and another 5 to construct. Obviously, you know the way I paint them, so they'll be quite quick to churn out. Like I say, I want to get these 10 Dark Eldar done before I work on these bad boys. So there's 10 constructed and sprayed already. It needs to get the other 5 done. And then we've got a new unit, which are the Forge World. Now I'm going to mess this up now. Yeah, just had to I'll do a little check there, a little check off camera. Shadow Specs, I completely forgot what they were called there. Now luckily I managed to get hold of these quite cheap really. One of my friends bought the box. He literally only needed the heads and the legs. He's done some conversion to his to make them look slightly different. I asked him if he was using the other parts. He said no. So I managed to get literally the jump packs, which are quite nice. You know, they're quite stand out. They make the model look very specific. The plume, which obviously that bit there, little plume, and the gun. So I thought to myself, well, how can I make these work? So I literally ordered some Scourge. I used the Scourge heads and the Scourge legs, and they work really nice. They fit with the theme of my sort of pirate web wraith Eldar. So they're a mixture between obviously Eldar and Dark Eldar. So they work really well. I've got 5 of these boys. So they're all pretty much constructed roughly the same. Slightly different heads, slightly different legs. Obviously the Scourge is Scourge stuff. So yes, they're really happy with the way these turns out. They've all been sprayed. They're all literally ready to rock and roll, ready to paint. as soon as these guys are done. These guys have been sat on my painting table now since just before Christmas, so that just literally just goes to show how long it's been since I've actually got in the garage to, you know, get stuff done. Plus the garage is a, I can't really say it on camera, but it's a massive tip. Since Christmas, it's literally just been a dumping ground for boxes and garden rubbish, really, to get things out of the bad weather. So as soon as possible, everything will be kicked back out of the garage. I should be having a serious conversation with the wife, telling her to get her crap out of the way. Yeah, so that's the shadow specs. And finally, for the Eldar, we've got a new HQ. We've got an Autarch. Autarch with wings. So we're going for the it's the index variant, so which you can use because obviously Games Workshop have stated that if the Codex hasn't got the model, you have already built and constructed the model, you can still use the index version. So obviously I've gone for the index version of the Autarch for the simple fact that it can have a Reaper launcher. So I had a spare Reaper launcher hanging about. He's got a Reaper launcher, he's got some nice wings, so obviously make him Autarch with wings, got a power weapon there, and one of the heads, I don't know whether you can see it, yeah, you can see it pretty well there. The head is from Sylvaneath, the Age of Sigmar Sylvaneath, like Wraith type things, I can't remember the name. But yeah, I just think it looks really, really cool. It gives a nice, like, dark Eldar feel to it. Obviously got the Scourge wings, give it a nice feel to it once he's finished and painted. So that's it really for the Eldar. Really happy with the way that I've planned the army. I've still gone for quite a mix of stuff. I don't like to go for taking, you know, all just spamming stuff really. That's why I've only got for one Wave Serpent. I know I've said I've got 15 Dark Reapers. I'm literally only going to paint up 2 units of 5 to use in you know, the games that I usually play. The other 5 are there just for competitive play, if for whatever reason I do tournaments. I do the odd tournament here and there. I'm not a massive tournament gamer. I really do suck at making competitive lists. I can do it, but I don't enjoy playing that style. So yeah, so that is literally it for the Eldar conversion from 7th edition to 8th edition. And then we get to the secret project. Basically, Christmas happened, and my wife was asking me, "Oh, what do you want for Christmas? What do you want for Christmas?" I'm sure people that watch this have girlfriends, partners, wives, you know, sisters, mothers, whatever. What do you want for Christmas? I literally was proper, you know, gazumped really of what I wanted for Christmas. So I literally asked for toy soldiers. Who doesn't want toy soldiers at Christmas? So I've decided to start a new project as soon as these 10 models are done and the Eldar the Eldar models are done. I did put them that side. Yeah, as soon as they're done, I've decided to start a new project. So it's a sort of a channel announcement basically. I will be doing. Grab these from here. Slide them over. They're all on literally a really long piece of wood. So will it fit in here? Yeah, sort of. So I'll be doing Genestealer Cult. Now the main reason why I wanted to do Genestealer Cult is I don't really see that many people use them. They came out, when did they come out? A year ago? A year and a half ago? And their initial release was amazing. People were going mad for them. There were people were ditching their old armies and going for starting a Genestealer Cult army. They were quite, not overpowered, they were quite, you know, quite pokey in 7th, being able to turn up right next to the opponent and assault and things like that. So, and then they just got dropped when 8th edition came out. You know, the index part of them was a bit. I don't think I've seen many people use them on YouTube, but there's definitely no one that uses them that I know these days. They literally drop them like a sack of, well, can't say it because I'm trying to keep it PC. Yeah, sack of poop really. So yeah, so I managed to ask for some Genestealer Cult stuff for Christmas. And let me turn this around. It is a really long piece of wood. Try not to whack the camera or anything like that. That'd be a bit stupid. So turn it around. So we've gone for some acolytes at the top of the stick there. Where are they? There they are. Doubled them up. I've stuck them down to the stick just for spraying purposes, and then I've gone for a load of acolytes here as well. And the stick just keeps going and going and going. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So I've gone for a load of acolytes and neophytes and things like that. The army is planned for 2,000 points. There will be Genestealers in it, which I will come to very, very shortly, which is another little project that I'm doing. To go with a new army, I like to do new scenery as well. So because Genestealer Cult are renowned for being the dregs of society, they're mostly found on mining worlds. So obviously these are all like a mining based Genestealer Cult army. The cult name is the Cult of the Multi-Armed God, so obviously Tyranids. Because I'm starting a new faction, a new army, I will actually be doing a new board as well. I'm constructing the board. I've done the basics of it. I will be doing almost like a follow-through series of how I'm constructing the board. The best way to describe it is Zone Mortalis, but mining rather than ship-based. So instead of it being like internal ships like Blake Spencer's done, I've actually been speaking to Blake about it, but I've known Blake for years now. I mean, we're talking 14 years, 15 years, 14 years. Known him for a long time. He's part of the gaming group, the Geek Gaming group. So I've talked to him outside of this anyway. So I'll be doing my actual own Zone Mortalis internal mining Zone Mortalis board, all set on tiles, 12 inches by 12 inch tiles, but internal cave network. So I'll be able to actually interchange the board each game I play. So I'm really looking forward to do that. I've literally just cut the foam into squares. That is it. I'm not going to bother doing a video on how to cut foam into squares because it literally involves a measuring tape and a saw. So I didn't really see the point in having to do a video about that. I will do a step-by-step video of, not a step-by-step video, but like I don't really know what the best way to put it is really. Basically how I would construct a board, so you guys can follow my progress, what I'm doing, seeing how I do it, things like that. So that is the board, and these are the new. These will be the projects basically that I will be working on. Obviously, that's all the infantry. Well, not all the infantry I've got. So slide that to one side without dropping it. Yeah, there we go. Whew. The other part of that project. Obviously, I'll be using Genestealers now. Like many people that play tabletop war games, you can be influenced by anything you see. So by books, by comics, by films, anything like that really. And I grew up with watching a lot of films basically. My mum and dad, cut a long story short, they were quite busy people. They were in and out a lot of the time. Obviously, like most people, my dad worked a lot. My mum was like a stay-at-home mum kind of thing. And then when they got to go out, they went out. So I was usually left at home with my brother. Now my brother, being a bit older than me, used to let me get away with whatever I wanted to. And he used to watch a lot of action films, horror films, things like that. So I used to get away with watching like Commando, Predator, Terminator, Bloodsport, all the cool 80s, early 90s films. And one of the films that I've always loved, even now, nearly 34 years old, it is still probably my favoritist of favourite. Probably still my favoritist movie ever, and it's going to have to be Aliens. A lot of people might agree with me. Obviously, everyone's got their own opinion on it. So, the theme for the Genestealer Cult is going to be Aliens. If I could put a little drum roll in there, I'd put a little drum roll. So put a little drum roll there. So the theme is going to be aliens, not just anything, willy-nilly kind of thing. Specifically going to be xenomorphs. So that's what they pretty much call the alien species in the film Aliens. as the films progress, like it is at the minute, Prometheus, things like that. We're not going to go into that. That's sort of a sore subject. It's a nice looking film, but still a sore subject. Yeah, so the theme is going to be xenomorph. So the miners will be like basic mining riffraff, like on the film Aliens. So LV-426, LV-426. I think it's LV-426. They're going to be painted roughly the same. So boiler suits, high vis vests. They're going to have rubbish guns, because that's what they had, literally small arms fire, things like that. Now obviously I can't do pure xenomorphs, because obviously with acolytes, hybrids, things like that, they've got like a Tyranid feel to them. So they're going to it's going to be like a xenomorph cross Tyranid. So if a xenomorph was able to infect a Tyranid, or infect a carrier of the Genestealer gene, so that's sort of the plan. So the hybrids will be basically standard Genestealer stuff, but they will be painted to represent the xenomorphs. The hybrids, the acolytes, so which are like the normal guys, literally just with the different heads, they'll be painted to look like the miners. They will have a slight variation on their skin colour to obviously represent the xenomorph gene. The xenomorph, they've got the Tyranid gene because they look like acolytes, but they're going to have the xenomorph gene as well. So they're going to have a slight change of skin pigment, so obviously a lot darker skin pigment. The hybrids, which are the ones with the, the two claws, things like that, they've obviously got a lot more of a gene change, really, because they're going through quite a drastic change in their appearance, change in their gene, basically. So they almost look more Tyranid than xenomorph, but they're still going to be painted more so to look like xenomorphs than basic humans anyway. So mostly blacks, glosses. I'm going to go for a sort of like a dark blue tinge to the colour, rather than just be black. I think black's quite a generic colour. I think it can look a bit static and boring, and especially on the tabletop, it just looks like sprayed black miniatures, basically. So then it comes to the Genestealers. Now, I've been racking my head about these Genestealers for a long time. Friends of mine, I've been literally, poking at their brain as well about what they think about the Genestealers, turn them into xenomorphs, things like that. Now, with the game by Prodos Games, the AVP box, their alien models are lovely. They are so nice, but I didn't just want to use the standard alien models that Prodos Games produce, because it's too much xenomorph, which is good because the models are really, really nice, but I wanted still to have that 40k Tyranid feel to it. So I did a hodgepodge of a, I'll turn it like that so you can't quite see it yet. I did a hodgepodge of a 40k Genestealer and the Proteus Games aliens. I think they call it infants. I think they're called, or Stalker infant. I think it's the infant models, which ended up like this. So if I turn it around, I'll do a close up in a bit. You can't really see much because obviously it's sprayed black. So I'll quickly tell you how I've done it here for now. So just showing you from this angle. So what we've got is a normal Genestealer body. This has just come from the Death Watch Overkill box. Genestealer from the Overkill box. He's literally only got his hands. Whoops. He has literally only got his hands. So obviously hands at the front. I've not bothered putting the rending claws on. I've actually green stuffed over them and made it a bit of a sheen almost, so it looks like sort of a carapace, Tyranid carapace kind of thing. So he's literally only got the one pair of claws. The legs obviously part of the Genestealer Cult, part of the Genestealer model anyway. Now the head is actually a Tyranid Hormigant model. in fact it's two heads, two Tyranid Hormigaunt or Termagant models, it doesn't matter which one you use, they're roughly the same size. They both give quite a nice look as well. And what I've done is the back of the first head I cut off. I will do a video of how I've done it, because it can be quite handy. Some people would like to know. Have I got anything I can poke? No, this will do. So that's the best angle to do it. That'll do. So obviously that would be where the first head finished. So basically cut off the round part of the head, the back of the first head, and then on the second head I basically cut off the front part. So I cut off the face of one and the back of the head of another, and then pretty much just glued it together. And then I had to file, luckily I've got a Dremel so it made it a lot easier. I filed literally the full carapace off the top of the head, filed it down so it fit a lot better. It didn't just look like two bits stuck together. Very, very minor green stuff just to make the transaction between the two heads a lot smoother. And that is it really. Green stuff the eyes to make sure there was no eyes in it, because obviously xenomorphs don't have any eyes, they go on sensors, but which is basically they can see anyway. So that's all I did for the head really. So that is a complete Games Workshop model head. I thought about casting them, but I don't know how to cast. And if you know anyone that casts stuff that would be willing to cast heads, let me know, because I'd probably snatch their hand off for a commission to get stuff done, because I can't be bothered making a crap load of these heads. Then we go into the bio vents, which are the ones on top. Best way to see them, probably that way. So the bio vents on top are from the Prodos Games Tyranid, arc it me. They're from the Prodos Games Alien infant model. I literally had to butcher the model to get these off, so I completely destroyed a model. So I think Prodos Games sell 6 of the infants for £8, something like that. So I literally butchered a model just to get these 4 vents on top. And the tail, which I'll come to in a bit. And then literally just drilled holes in the back of the Tyranid model, the Genestealer, and just pretty much plugged them in really, just to give the bio vents. Now you don't have to do this, but the vents are one of the head, the vents and the tail are the dominant features of a xenomorph. So I wanted to make sure that the model actually showed this. And then we come to the tail. Obviously one of the predominant aspects of the xenomorph is the long curling spiked tail with obviously the blade on the end. Those of you that have watched AVP, Alien vs Predator, obviously, know that that's quite a dominant feature really for the Alien franchise. So all I did with this was literally just use the actual tail of the xenomorph model, and where the base of it meets the Genestealer, I managed to cut it off, but I managed to work it out roughly so they're roughly the same size, and give it that. So I basically stuck it in, filed it down, and green stuffed it to make the transaction a little bit easier, or a little bit smoother, should I say. So literally, that is my first mock-up of a Tyranid Genestealer xenomorph. And obviously I've knocked him off there, so he's not glued down anymore, so I'll have to glue him back on there to when I start painting him. Now people might be asking, where's his base, or hasn't he got a base? Well, the reason why he's not got a base is because I'm not actually going to put them on normal bases. I'm actually going to be putting all the Tyranid xenomorphs on clear discs. Got these off eBay. I've got all the correct sizes, so these are going to be for the acolyte, the the acolytes, sorry, the human size models. So they will all be going on this. The heavy weapons team will be going on one slightly bigger. The hybrids and Genestealer xenomorphs will be going on a different size disc as well. The reason why I'm putting them on clear discs and not actual painted bases is because when I use them on, because the army is going to be themed around mining, they're obviously going to go on the new board. The new board is a mining area. I could do bases, so I could just do standard rock formation bases, which would obviously fit in perfectly with that board. But if for whatever reason I went to play Luke and he had a nice green board, their bases would just look so out of place. So So for these, I actually want the transaction from board to board to be a lot smoother. So I'm actually going to put all these models on clear disc bases. Some people have done it, which I've seen online. You know, it looks quite effective. And that's the reason why I want to do these. So they just literally fit on any board. They don't stand out, so it's not like you have a grey, black base, which looks really, really good on some boards, and then you put them on other boards and they just stand out like a sore thumb. So that's why these guys are all going to be on clear discs. So that is literally it for what I've been up to, things that I'm going to change for my current armies, and the secret project, which is obviously going to be the Xenomorph Genestealers. Thank you very much for people, like I say, I've said it before, but thank you very much for people that have mailed me while I've been slightly inactive on YouTube. Thank you very much for people that have been subscribing as well. You know, I've had a fair few extra people subscribe to the channel. I can only apologise to you guys. Obviously, you don't know what's been cracking off. But yeah, thanks for all the positive words, the positive comments, all the positive emails I've received. Thank you very much for people that have been joining the channel, watching I hope you've been enjoying the content. If you guys want to see anything specific, you know, just leave a comment and let me know what it is you want to see. I have got other videos planned. Things like painting tutorials. They seem to go down quite well. Everyone paints stuff slightly differently. So I'll show you things like how I paint the Genestealer, how I paint the Acolytes, things like that. How I'm going to paint my actual Eldar, the new Eldar web wraiths, things like that. Reviews. Now, something that I've been thinking of. I've been speaking to some friends about it. Reviews are a little bit awkward these days for the simple fact that Games Workshop send out codexes to certain YouTubers. So you're looking at Tabletop Tactics. Don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing these channels at all. I actually subscribe to these channels. They are really, really cool channels, and they're really, really nice guys as well. But like I say, Games Workshop send these codexes out, new codexes, to Tabletop Tactics, Striking Scorpion 82, Winter's SEO, and I think a couple of other channels as well online. They get their codexes a week early compared to everybody else. So they do a full codex review before anyone else actually gets hold of the codex. So doing a codex review is quite difficult because it's already been reviewed. You're basically telling people the same stuff. You're basically telling people stuff that they already know, they've already seen. So I'm trying to come up with a way to make it a bit different. Whether I put my own spin on it, which is something that I've got to look at. I mean, my own spin would be being, proper hammering things that are rubbish, swearing like a trooper, and being quite rude, because I really have to tame it back, things that I say on YouTube, because I try and make it very PC. Working on a building site, working at an airport with like 100 odd blokes, your mind sort of falls into the gutter. So it's quite hard to dull it down, basically. So I want to try and work out a way of putting my own spin on codex reviews and things like that. Whether I tell you what I would personally do, what I personally would take, what I personally wouldn't take. Things that work well and things that don't work well, I sort of already do anyway. So it would be a case of, I don't know really. If you guys have got any ideas, let me know, and I'll consider it, and I might even use the ideas. But codex reviews are quite a difficult thing to do at the minute, for the simple fact that Games Workshop send their codexes out to be reviewed by the YouTube community a week early compared to all the little guys, basically. Some guys genuinely want their YouTube channels. I want my YouTube channel to work, of course I do. But some people rely on, they're almost putting all their, eggs in one basket, and they want their YouTube channel to work, and they want that YouTube channel to spawn their own paid channel, and actually make a living off it. I've got, I don't expect this channel to be you know, 56,000 subscribers to be 20 odd thousand subscribers to be 10,000 subscribers. You know, I literally do this channel for fun. I do it for the love of the hobby. I do it because I just generally enjoy having a laugh, playing games, painting toy soldiers, and if I can help anyone do that, that's you know, that's all I want to do really. So that's the only reason why I do YouTube. I don't do it to make money at all. So it's just hard, but it's just hard to do a review on a codex that people have already done. So whether I just decide not to do reviews on codexes, or I do like a, I don't know, I wouldn't even know what to do if I'm honest, like a Matt Splash review or something like that. I wouldn't even know what to call it really. Whether I do a more in-depth review than other channels, so actually break each choice down, so rather than just do a 1 hour video of the entire codex, do like a half an hour video on all the HQs, and then the following week do another review on just the troops and things like that, and actually break it down tactically of what to do. That might work. So yeah, so that's really it, guys. Thank you very much for subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much for the people that have been mailing me just to make sure I'm all right, which I'm fine. Thank you very much for people that for asking. And yeah, stay tuned for the things that I've got planned. Now I'm finally back on the geek wagon and painting and playing games and stuff. So that is it, guys. So thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video, and drop me a comment if you want to see anything in particular, or even message me or whatever, just to see how I am or whatever. So that is it. So I'll speak to you guys next time. Toodaloo.